Hello and welcome again to the Hjartarson studio on day 2 of Charge 2016. I'm actually joined by Thor Hjartarson, Chief Executive Officer at Metsco. Theo, how are you doing today?
Excellent, excellent. Yourself?
I'm not too bad myself, actually.
Yeah.
It's the second day of the conference and we're getting some really good insights here, so I'm hoping you can rev things up a notch for us here.
I think it's been absolutely great. Great ideas that I've seen. People are really looking at the branding, how they're putting that forward in the industry. I've never seen it as much in one place as here at this conference.
It's really unique, right?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Well, tell you what, on the subject of ideas, before we jump into that, would you mind sort of getting us up to speed on yourself and Metsco?
Absolutely. I've been in the industry for about 25 years. I'm an electrical engineer originally, and still am, and worked here in Iceland in the beginning, and then moved to Canada, and have been working in both in the utility spectrum and also on the consulting side. And right now I'm the CEO of an electrical engineering consulting company. So we do both engineering directly to utilities on smart grid solutions, on asset management, on strategies for the business, and also on some niche engineering around that.
It's quite interesting because one of the key points at the event so far has been, helping engineers get the, spread or share their brilliance, get across those points and keep the value proposition message going. So I guess it's quite timely we actually have an engineer in the seat to answer to some of those questions. And the strap line on your website, Metsco, actually goes good ideas, bold plans.
Absolutely.
I was wondering if you could kind of just set us off by saying maybe a bit about that in lieu of, some of the things that have been talked about today in terms of brand image and so on.
Well, the utilities we're normally working for are the utilities that are striving for excellence. So they do want to move forward. They're looking at some, like I said, they have bold plans. They want to get somewhere. So we help them with that. That's usually our clientele, the ones that want to get ahead, want to have plans, whether it's in terms of maximizing their assets they already have, whether it's new smart solutions they're putting in place. A lot of it is about which you don't necessarily see with utility. Like you see the electrical cars and you see that, but very often behind they put a lot of controls in to make the systems automated, and so that they act quickly. When there's an outage, nobody actually sees it because the switching is automatic. So we help utilities with those type of solutions as well. And that also helps them maximize that they don't have to replace their assets as often. So they can utilize them better for longer life, for instance. So these type of plans we help them with. We help them build justification for it because that's often very difficult to show what's the business case behind it. How can I get my money back? Where's the benefits? So we show them how the benefits are there and put it up in such a place they can actually go to the customers, go to the regulator and show, hey, this is the right thing to do.
Okay, well, you see, all being said and done, all things said and done, and you guys are really good at that. The grid operators and the solution providers in that ecosystem have done a fantastic job of kind of pushing the boundaries in technology there, and are still pushing.
Yeah.
When all that's done, how does that then sit with, the more brand marketing side of things? Is it really just a case of ensuring reliability so that when the marketing guys go out, the story is still the same, the dream is true?
I think the branding is absolutely necessary. There was actually a really, really good presentation I just saw now from Lady Mai Subada. And she was telling how misbranding everything is. Like for instance, when they're showing electrical cars, they show little, small, old type of electrical cars that are plugged in somewhere. That's all you see. But they don't show the Teslas and stuff that are actually fantastic cars. And there's, so branding, it's actually, we need to do it for defensive purposes because there's misbranding out there. We need to brand to show that it's actually, electrical cars are cool, they're nice. And similarly with other things around in the industry, we need to work on the branding to get the message across, the true message. Otherwise, we get misbranded or not. People don't even know about us.
But also, it's like, how you pointed out that, people often just see the plug. That tends to be it for most people. In my case, it's probably the light switch, at which point I'm off watching Netflix. I say that a lot, and I do like Netflix. The point is that, is that also that there's an opportunity here with branding and sending across that right message that people can truly start to appreciate some of the technology innovation that you and your colleagues are working on in the background?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that is necessary because, like I said, it's people don't even know about it, but it's there, and that's why you got a better grid today than you had before. Technology's been around for a long time. People don't even know that, and you are going to be there's many different venues coming at, for instance, the utilities or how they operate. There's the microgrids. There's people have solar cells on the roofs. That affects the utility. Utility has to work with that, and often gets very negative talk. Well, let's get off the grid. You still have to have the grid, otherwise we will not be connected. So that branding needs to be there, and you need to look forward and show how this is all connected.
Well, let's talk about one of Metsco's strong points, or sort of strength points, and that's in the data space.
Yes.
You know, it's leveraging data analytics. And is it possible that some of that data analytics that's been very grid operation centric could someday also influence communication and branding as well?
Absolutely, because typically, like utilities, they have collected a lot of data throughout the years. Haven't utilized it a lot, but there's actually a lot of power in that, both in terms of understanding where your assets are, what condition is, what the risk is to the utility. Is there a risk if something fails and it will affect the customers, affect the business? So the data is definitely something you would look for in the future. Using that data also will showcase the strengths of the utility, strengths of the business, and if you do that correctly, and go directly into helping you with branding it as such.
Okay. Well, I guess I want to finish off on a sort of next steps thing. And, you know, having listened to all of this so far, and how do you think the engineering and more technical side or technology side of the power and utility sector can contribute to the wider brand image? Is it just a case of, you guys need to talk to us and understand what our real, unique factors are, or is it maybe we need to potentially speak more and be clearer? What do you think it is? Or maybe there isn't a problem.
No, I think there has an evolution that is going on. Typically, the industry has always been almost 100% engineering driven. It's very, very focused, and it's really engineers talking to engineers. And it's been always,
and it will always be that, really, because it is an engineering
but it
discipline.
needs to be also, the engineers now have to talk to the people. They have to talk to the business. So there is what the evolution is happening, is that it needs to move more into it. And you're seeing it in utilities. There are more and more people from different backgrounds coming in. Whether it's a lawyer, it's an economist, it's a philosophist, all kinds. And then when you get those different types of people together, then you start seeing the dynamics coming out. And they start tapping each other, and they have their real conversations. Okay. And I see that happening.
Excellent. Well, tell you what, I know I said it was my last question. I got one more for you, because you've been in the industry for well over 10, 20 years, isn't it?
Years,
25 years. So you've pretty much seen the energy in transition, and it is still, in transit, really. There is digital transformation. What do you think? What's the one thing that you're most looking forward to, especially, say, at the grid edge? Do you see, especially the engineering backbone, sort of getting ever more closer to the consumer?
Well, I kind of see, that really the energy is on, like, I've actually felt it for the last 10 years. There's something big is happening, and has been happening, but I still think there's more big things happen. I see as more becoming, on the Google, the Tesla type breaking out, and there'll be some neat stuff you'll see in the industry. What it is, I don't know exactly, but I feel it's there. It's coming out. So, and I just like, cell phones came 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, 5 or 10 years before nobody thought the cell phones were coming. So all of a sudden they came, and then smartphones and so on. I feel that the same thing is happening in the energy industry, and it's really the next technology wave.
Well, thanks, Thor. I think that's a brilliant place for us to bring this interview to a close.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and thank you as well for tuning into this interview. If you'd like to hear more around the technology, analytics, and also how to bring all these together into clear brand and value, unique value specific points, please check out the other interviews on the screen, and also feel free to visit the Hjartarson website. Thank you very much.